Are you listening?
Boom. Hello. Good morning. Morning coffee.
Good morning.
Good
Big
morning.
coffee.
Yeah. Coffee indeed.
Oh, yeah.
We got the Lawson with us today.
Hey, what's up, D. Lawson?
Hey,
Hey, we might have another person or two jump in. But
Cool.
we're going to watch the debut video. I'll blow up the video when it starts. But right now we can see our pretty faces and logos, or lack of logos. Maybe since DeLoss is streaming, he needs a logo.
Yep.
Yep. Lawson. Look at you. You look excited.
Wolfie, good morning.
Wolfie. Oh yeah, I wanted to do that. Oh. Yeah. We have 3 pictures of the day.
Cool.
But Wolfie. Oh, hold on a second. Yep. Look at that. Boom.
Cool.
Yeah. Where is it? There we go. Yeah, that picture Wolfie sent. He's like, I want my dog to be shown.
Nice.
Yeah, early. Yeah, we're starting a little bit early because this video thing is supposed to be starting 5 minutes earlier than normal. So that's why we're a little bit early. Then we can chit chat. Then TCGdude sent this picture. He's like, he's addicted to Magic the Gathering. Then Hillbilly sent this picture in. Dinosaurs never had coffee, and we see how that turned out. CoolFunnyQuotes.com. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
And we have a card of the day, but I'm not going to play the intro to that right now. But the card of the day, I was like, Murderous Cut. One of my favorite kill spells, right? One of my favorite kill spells because it could potentially cost nothing or cost 1 black. Or yeah, if you have the right amount, it's very cheap to kill a creature, and it goes along the lines of Murder at Karlov Manor. Woo woo.
Yeah.
Yep. So it says premiere will begin shortly, meaning it's supposed to be starting.
Yeah, they need their own time. They remind me of another streamer. I ain't gonna go there.
Right. Right. It looks fun. Looks good. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Stop.
I don't like this music.
So this is gonna be a live view of the Karlov Manor. Murders by Karlov Manor. You get to see some spoilers today.
I'll be back. I'll be with you once this go. I wish they'd come up with some other kind of music besides this for these countdowns.
We have different kinds of music. This is the video they chose for their opening premiere. Woo! Got a free sucker.
Nice. Wolfie's girlfriend likes it. What does that mean?
Yeah. Yeah, 3 minutes. Go. Not so sure any yourself. Hello, it's gone pretty well. We're about to debut the Murder of Karlov Manor video. Live premiere. You're into magic, it's your thing. Dark Master Gaming, good morning.
Love Dark Master. Slowly.
Now. It's growing, it's building. Down there, it's time for minutes wait.
Trying to.
Is that better, Wolfie? Is that better?
They certainly make that music loud.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
I just turned it down on there. All right, cool. Well, it's been in the negatives here. It's not so shorty.
14 degrees. 14 degrees here where I'm at.
Oh, it's a balmy 7 here.
A recent string of murders has planted the seed of societal collapse here on Ravnica. How did this get so out of hand? And who could be behind it? Well, worry not, because all will soon be made clear. In fact, the mastermind is here with us in this very room. That's right. One of these Ravnikins is responsible for everything. And I, Detective Alquist Proft, will prove it. It's quite simple, really.
Welcome back to the cityscape of Ravnica. You'll need all your wits about you to unravel the mystery that's been building here. Crack puzzles, collect evidence, and identify suspicious individuals in order to discover who is behind the series of grisly murders throughout the plane. The brilliant detective Alquist Proft recently announced that he has discovered the guilty party and invited everyone involved in the investigation to join him for the reveal. But which of them did it? We will go over the events so far and attempt to discover the killer before Detective Proft can unveil the truth. Our story began in the wake of the Phyrexian invasion. When Phyrexia attacked, most of the Ravnican guilds united to repel the assault. With Phyrexia defeated, Ravnica has been eager to get back to normal. And what better way to
Yeah, last
demonstrate
night
that the
got down
people's
to
spirits
negative
remain
30,
unbroken
negative
than a
40
big shindig at
here in
Karlov Manor?
Iowa.
The host of the event was Teysa Karlov, guild leader, legendary aristocrat, and scion of the powerful Karlov family. During the Phyrexian invasion, she saved many lives by supplying key intelligence about the advancing armies. And so who could begrudge her for throwing a well-deserved party? Everyone who is anyone was there, and everyone else was trying to get in. One
Interesting
featured
card.
guest was an old Orzhov
You
friend of
probably want that
Teysa's,
for your
Walker
maybe.
Kaya. Since the Phyrexian defeat, Kaya has found herself back in her old stomping grounds. Reluctantly attending the party, she assessed the scene, looking for any reason to make her escape. In addition to celebrating a return to normalcy, the Karlov Manor party served to cement a new status quo by hosting members of the Ravnican Agency of Magicological Investigations. The agency are a fresh force in Ravnican society, established to make sure that guild politics don't affect the investigation of actual crimes, or at least that they affect them less. One
Oh,
of the members of the agency is rookie investigator Kellen. He is eager to follow
Adventure
the
in
clues
Ravnica?
wherever they may lead him. The night
Oh.
proceeded as planned, the party's opulence drowning the recent woes of Ravnica in splendor and excess. But the festivities were interrupted when a body was found sprawled in the cloakroom on a pile of coats. It was the leader of the Simic Guild, Zagana.
No!
The party was immediately awash in suspicion. As luck would have it, Alquist Proft, Ravnica's self-styled great detective, was on the scene as well, ready to investigate any clues that might have been left behind. Investigate is a returning mechanic that immerses you in the feeling of being a detective and will have you digging deeper into the goings-on. It enables you to create a clue token, which is a colorless
Nice, Wolfie,
artifact
that's
token
awesome.
that you can sacrifice in order to draw a card.
Mhm.
Proft quickly realized two things. One, the seemingly random coats underneath Zagana display the insignias of each of the guilds, not a clue so much as an anti-clue or a pile of red herrings. But he also noticed that someone was wearing Selesnian colors without the appropriate sigil, a disguise. The new disguise mechanic imbues the game with a sense of mystery. Anything could be hiding under your opponent's upturned cards. Disguise allows you to cast cards face down, hidden so no other player knows what it is.
More
Pay 3 to cast this spell, and it becomes a 2/2 creature with Ward 2 and no other abilities. You may turn it face
more
up
flesh.
anytime you have priority by paying its disguise cost. This happens immediately, doesn't use the stack, and can't be responded to. That 2/2 creature your opponent thought was safe to block is actually an angel, perfect to fly over for some free lifelink. But before Proft could pull the mysterious guest aside, her true identity was revealed.
Itrata is obviously guilty of the murder, and yet has no memory of killing Zagana. Clearly, the roots of this case go much deeper than I initially suspected.
Kaya was ready to leave the plane she once called home, but was summoned back to the scene of the crime at Karlov Manor. Teysa claimed to have something important to tell her, but by the time Kaya arrived, Teysa's body was already cold. Another murder. Kaya discovered a note written in Teysa's hand, but the script was Phyrexian. Was Teysa working for them? And could there be another murderer on the loose? With these unanswered questions spurring her on and a dead friend to put to rest, Kaya took on the case. Cases are a new mechanic you to experience the different steps as a mystery unfolds, just as a detective would. Cases are quest-like enchantments with 3 abilities. The top ability is always active. The middle is a condition to solve the case, and the bottom a reward once you've solved it. Back at the agency, Kaya and Kellen bumped into Agris Koss, who was one of Boros' best investigators when he was alive. Things hadn't changed much now that he's dead. Reluctantly assisting in the agency's investigation, he was prepared to catch any person suspected of foul play. Suspect is another new mechanic which allows you to cast your well-honed detective eye at any creatures that looks like they might be up to no good. Suspected is a label that can be applied to a creature. A suspected creature has menace and can't block. Once suspected, a creature remains suspected until it leaves the battlefield or another effect causes it to no longer be suspected. Kaya and Kellen, beginning their investigation, went to speak to Judith of the Rakdos. Judith was present the night of the Karlov Manor party. Kaya was surprised she was even invited, and more surprised to learn that Judith had a disagreement with Teysa before her murder. Judith insisted that she was innocent, but did inform the
Right,
detectives
yeah,
that they didn't
good.
have the whole
Throw
story.
the deck around
She
the
pointed them to the original guild
mechanics.
pact at V2Ghazi and promised
guys
that
in
it
it.
would clarify things. Meanwhile, Croft had decided to go about things a little differently.
I have a new and unlikely partner, Etrata. After all, who would be more motivated to clear her name? And it helps to have an assassin on my side as I untangle this thicket of clues and false leads.
Etrata and Alquist headed to the last place she remembered being before waking up at the party, one of her assassin-friendly hiding places. They discovered a fine yellow-gray powder dusting her bedside table and pillowcase, their first major piece of evidence. Collect evidence is another new mechanic. You can solve a mystery in your head, but nothing is as important as hard evidence when bringing the guilty to justice. To collect evidence, exile any number of cards from your graveyard with the total mana value of the indicated number or greater. Some cards even unlock alternative effects when entering the battlefield, if evidence was collected. As Alquist pondered the meaning of the powder, he was attacked by Massacre Girl, an infamous Rakdos assassin. Thanks to Etrata, Massacre Girl was sent packing. But who would have hired her to kill Proft? And why? Kaya and Kellen headed out into the wilderness, or
These are
as
weird.
close as Ravnica gets to wilderness,
Yeah.
to see the new literal resting place of V2Ghazi as the giant tree recovers from the battle with the Phyrexians. Kaya and Kellen were stopped in front of their destination by Tolsimir and his wolf Voya. Tolsimir seemed standoffish and on edge, almost as though he and his pointy-toothed companion had something to hide. But after a couple of tense moments, he agreed to lead our intrepid investigators inside V2Ghazi. Trostani, the Dryad Guildmaster of the Selesnya Conclave, have roots that tangle with the living wood of V2Ghazi, so that the two seem inextricable. Trostani was once 3 Dryads, Sim representing harmony, Oba representing life, and Ses representing order. Now all are united with each other and the World Tree. They pointed the investigators towards the guild pact they sought. The investigators learned that the cult of Rakdos was founded and bound to Rakdos in the hope that it would prevent him from his practice of instilling murderous rage into random citizens. That sure sounds like what happened to Etrata. Etrata and Alquist headed to see Kylox the Inventor, hoping he might be able to shed some light on the mysterious powder. Alquist had some suspicions about what that substance had to do with murders, and knew that only an advanced scientific mind could help him get to the bottom of it. But when he and Etrata arrived at Kylox's lab, they found it in a state of turmoil. Alquist combed through the ransacked lab for clues and discovered a secret disguised hatch that led underneath the lab. Kylox must have tried to escape. Alquist and Etrata followed the path only to find the missing Kylox working furiously in a secret office. Before they had a chance to discuss the powder, a group of goblins broke in to capture the artificer. Alquist and Etrata were able to quickly hide from being taken themselves, but managed to follow the group to somewhere on Tin Street. They discovered that Krenko, another suspect who felt that he was the one in danger, was behind Kylox's kidnapping. Krenko believed that Kylox's secret research was the key to the recent spate of murders. As if on cue, yet another brainwashed Ravnican made an attempt on Krenko's life. But his aim fell short, and instead of Krenko, Kylox
Treasure.
was killed.
We managed to rouse the murderer from his stupor. He was confused and horrified. He claimed to have been at the flower shop, and then suddenly here he was assassinating a scientist he had never even heard of. How curious.
At this point in the investigation, it was clear that victims were piling up at an alarming rate. What had started as a search for Zagana's killer had now spiraled into something much more wide-ranging and insidious. Teysa and Kylox had both been murdered in cold blood, and there were more bodies to come. As Proft and Etrata were contemplating the scope of this case, across town, the agency informed Kaya and Kellen that Teysa's killer had been captured, a low-level hitman with no memory of the attack. And the bad news kept coming. Since she last crossed paths with Proft, Massacre Girl had attempted to murder Aurelia, killing 10 of her soldiers in the process. Massacre Girl, echoing the other killers so far, said she didn't know why she attacked Aurelia. Aurelia would
Someone
not
with mental
accept this
magic.
answer. She gave Kaya and Kellen 24 hours to solve the case, or she'd march the Legion to war against the cult of Rakdos, almost certainly plunging Ravnica back into chaos.
Oh, I
They were
like that.
so
What do we
close to
solve?
finding the truth,
Yeah.
but now the pressure was on. Elsewhere,
That'd be good
Proft
for
and
a
Etrada were in
dinosaur deck.
Golgari territory in the
Yeah.
Undercity,
Helping
hunting
deck
down
too.
Izoni. Proft had noticed her spiders in Etrada's cell, and again in Kylox's underground lab. Clearly, Izoni was keeping tabs on the case. But why? Once found, Izoni denied any wrongdoing, but was able to confirm for them what Kylox could not. Whatever the powder they found is, it is not from Ravnica.
I know who the killer is. Obvious, really, when you think about it. I'll reveal all in front of a group of interested parties, including the culprit. You'll just have to join me at V2 Ghazi to learn the
Hockey
truth.
Pro.
So, given what we know,
Ravnica.
who has Proft identified as the killer? Who had the motive and the means? Teysa hosted the party during which the first murder occurred. She could have let in the killer, but she ended up a victim herself, and she appears to have had something to hide about the Phyrexian invasion. While she might have been involved somehow, we can rule her out as the main culprit. Etrada was clearly the one who murdered Zagana, but at the same time, she had no memory of the event itself. And she assisted Proft in gathering further clues. Is she the murderer, playing a long and complicated game, or just the murder weapon? Judith had her own quarrel with Teysa, though she claims it was minor. But she also knew about the guild pact with Rakdos. Is it possible she's involved in the murders, or does she have her own cunning plan? Massacre Girl is, as the name implies, a known killer. She not only attempted to knock off Alquist Proft, but also attacked Aurelia. Is she, like Etrada, an unwitting pawn for someone else? Or is something more sinister going on beneath that not-so-innocent smile? Kylox felt threatened for the secret projects he was working on, but didn't reveal what those were while he was alive. Is it possible it had something to do with the powder that Proft found? Either way, his death rules him out as a suspect. Krenko was convinced he was next on the murderer's hit list, and he was attacked by one of the brainwashed assailants. But they ended up killing the very scientist Krenko had just had kidnapped. Is it possible that he was behind the murders and used the attack on himself to dispose of an enemy and waylay suspicion? Massacre Girl's attack on Aurelia gave her the perfect pretext to launch an all-out war. But what if she was the one helping the murders along in order to establish a call for war that no one could question? Still, it seems unlikely that such a righteous figure would be so underhanded as to stoop to murder. Agris was a beacon of justice in his life, but called back into the service by the Boros Legion, he disappeared without telling anyone his intentions. Could he be hiding something? Agris had no motive. He was only aiding in the investigation. A ghost just looking to retire. He was clearly not involved. We can rule him out. Could Trostani be involved? They seem innocent, but their guild has been through much turmoil as a result of the Phyrexian invasion. Could it have unbalanced the Dryads in some way, turning a healthy tree into something twisted and gnarled beyond recognition? And even if they didn't act directly, they are connected to another of our suspects. Several of the mesmerized Ravnican assailants had vestiges of fur on their robes, a possible sign that they were working for Tolsimir and his mount, the Great Wolf Voya. Izoni had eyes on each phase of the investigation. Etrada's cell, Kylox's lab. Was she just keeping tabs like she said, or trying to remain one step ahead of an investigation she knew would lead to her? Or perhaps we should look more closely at the great detective at the center of this web. He has been at almost every crime scene, and this murder spree has burnished his reputation. Is he working both sides of this case?
Well, there's definitely blue magic involved.
This case was a tricky one. It seemed easy to solve at first. Of course, Etrada killed Zagana. We practically caught her red-handed. I witnessed Kylox's death, but the attacker surrendered without a fight. Someone had to be pulling the strings all along. So I called everyone here because I knew that the perpetrator was among you, and that they wouldn't be able to resist taking me out before I exposed them. As I had hoped, while speaking with Kaya moments ago, a flower grew from the wall and attempted to dose her with what appears to be mind control pollen, triggering my demise. Thanks to Izoni's help, we knew that this powder was not something we've ever seen here. This was the final piece of evidence I needed. The killer is none other than Oba, the central member of Trostani. Only Trostani has the power to create a new form of life like this. Any plant in the city was able to be used as a delivery system for the pollen. So, that's the method and the means. As for motive, each of the people Trostani killed or tried to kill was involved with the Phyrexian invasion. Teysa was communicating with them, though I'm told she was actually acting as a double agent for the benefit of Ravnica. Kranko profited off the war, and Zagana was experimenting with Phyrexian oil. No one was more damaged by the Phyrexian invasion than Trostani, emissaries of all living things on this plane. And so, no one had a motive for murder like them.
So there we have it. Oba, the central member of Trostani, was behind the plot, and Alquist Proft, with our help, managed to put the pieces together. But the larger mystery has just begun. There are so many more puzzles to solve and secrets to uncover
Maybe
with
if we had
murders
more
at
time
Karlov Manor.
with the
Your
wars,
eye to
during
detail and
these
detective skills
Phyrexian
are
wars,
still needed.
invasions,
In addition to
Yep.
playing
what
a new
was
set, there are
happening,
12 puzzles and
that
one meta
the
puzzle to
better.
solve. You can find your first puzzle in the pre-release kit and then discover more in products like Play Boosters and the bundle. Go to ravnicadetectiveagency.com for more puzzles and the final meta puzzle. And if you feel like attending a party less deadly than the one at Karlov Manor, you can play early at your local game store for pre-release starting the weekend of February 2nd, on Arena February 6th, and available everywhere February 9th. If you want even more tantalizing clues and details about the murders at Karlov Manor, story episodes are currently rolling out. Keep a sharp eye out for any further clues, detectives. Ravnica is still counting on you to solve the remaining puzzles.
Remaining puzzles. Whoa, whoa. Is there any more? Is that it?
Interesting.
That's it.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
See some good cards there.
Well, it's some good cards, some weird mechanics. It's a very inboxed set.
Yeah.
Like this, like it's meant to work with itself. It's supposed, like suspected. Some keywords are definitely going to need more time in the sun, but like having the invasion of Phyrexia or the invasion from the March of the Machines War, they should have really went in and did more time with certain sets during that time to give us an idea what happened. But really now this happening after the wars kind of makes everything feel even more rushed than it was.
Yeah, I agree. Your camera is frozen.
My camera?
Yep. All I see is you with a sucker in your mouth.
The chocolate Tootsie Pop.
Yep.
Am I unfrozen now?
Nope.
Oh, all right. Give me a second.
Well,
That better?
nope.
No. All right.
Oh, well, we can hear you still.
We'll keep people entertained for a second.
Yeah. I mean, this set, it's kind of weird. It's new mechanics, which is good. I enjoy getting new mechanics, figuring them out. Can't figure them out during early access or screamer events anymore because I'm not going to do it for this set, unfortunately. But other than that, they're not going to. Just having to figure out the way the cards work. That's going to be the biggest thing to do when on February the 6th when they come to Arena. And I usually try and involve my viewers with the early access by letting them 3D craft some decks for me to run on the streamer event, and I give them credit for it. I don't take the credit. Can't do that this time, unfortunately. Hopefully, by the time the next set comes out, Wizards will give us streamers the streamer event again so we can do this. Showcase the cards. I mean, that's the whole purpose of that streamer event is to showcase the cards. That way, if you like the cards, you can get the paper form, or you can just get it on Arena. Events showcase the cards. If you like the
Hello.
good. Hey, you're back. You're good.
Back. Didn't see much disguise. Well, it didn't spoil everything. It spoiled new mechanics, really, and a couple
Yeah.
cards.
I'm curious how that disguise mechanic is really going to work. The suspect mechanic. I mean, it's new mechanics. We just have to figure them out when they release.
They could have done something better.
Yeah, they could have.
The whole morph token thing just seems stupid.
Yeah,
And it's morph with extra.
yeah it is. But I'm
Right.
wondering-
Like disguise, there should have been like a cost. Make a creature unblockable until in turn. Because, slips to the side, you don't realize there's disguise.
right, like a sneak attack.
Hmm.
But yeah, they could have done better. But they didn't do. They didn't do bad though.
No. Looks like it'll be a fun inbox set.
Yeah. Morph with War 2. Yeah. I believe it is. I mean, didn't really get to. They was going through the cards so fast you really couldn't read them or see what they were really about.
No, it's basically morph token with Ward 2. The creature comes down as a 2/2 creature, has Ward 2. It's morph just with Ward 2.
Yeah. But as far as spoilers, yeah, they released this today. They'll probably release more cards today. But I will be going over these spoilers on my channel starting tomorrow.
Nice. Get some spoilers going. Be awesome. Be amazing.
So if y'all want to see some spoilers on the new cards, then feel free to come over to my channel and subscribe to me, and y'all be able to see the spoilers when I reveal them. I'll probably be right at 9 a.m. when I go over there to look at the
There's a
spoilers.
handful of spoilers out already.
Yep. Well, we can go ahead and go over them if you want to.
Yeah, Mythic Spoilers got some up already.
Cool. Yeah, that's the site I always go to. All right.
So, we got Alquist, Proft, Master Sleuth. One generic white and a blue, a 3/3. Vigilance. When Alquist, Proft, Master Sleuth enters the battlefield, investigate. You may pay 2 blue, white, and X. You sacrifice a clue token. You draw X cards to get X life. Kind of like a Sphinx's ability.
Yeah. That ain't too bad.
No.
We just got to get those clues out.
Oh, yeah. Rakdos, Patron of Chaos. 6 mana, 6/6. Legendary creature demon. Flying Trample. At the beginning of your end step, target opponent may sacrifice 2 non-land tokens permanents. If they don't, you draw 2 cards.
Nice.
It's pretty nuts.
I like it. Yeah, I like it.
Honestly.
And has
Yeah.
flying and trample. Yeah.
Yep.
Great card.
Flying and Trample. Lord Aurelia, the law above. 5 mana, 4/4. Flying Vigilance Haste. Whenever a player attacks with 3 or more creatures, you draw a card. Whenever a player attacks with 5 or more creatures, a lawyer of the law above deals 3 damage to each of your opponents, and you gain 3 life. That's pretty good.
Ooh, that'd be good in Commander.
Mm-hmm. Whoa, Jack, Investigator, 3 mana, Flying Vigilance, Angel Detective. At the beginning of your upkeep, investigate once for each opponent who has more cards in hand than you. Huh. Fanatical Strength, green, generic, +3/+3 trample until turn, instant. Yeah, that's all right.
We've seen that before.
Judith Carnage Connoisseur, 5 mana, 3/4, legendary creature, human shaman. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you may choose one. Target that spell gains death touch and lifelink until turn. So this will turn your lightning bolt into a kill spell.
Yeah. Have this on the battlefield. You play a shock, which deals 2 damage. You hit a 6/6 with that 2 damage, you kill it.
Yeah. The second choice is create a 2/2 red imp creature token. With this creature dies, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. Nice.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's Rakdos.
Yep.
Nice.
You got Curious Cadaver, 4 mana zombie detective, 3/1. Flying. When you sacrifice a clue, return Curious Cadaver from your graveyard to your hand. Well, that's all right. Pretty good for an uncommon.
Yeah. Bounce spell.
Yeah.
You can bounce it to protect it.
Right. You got meddling use. 3 generic red white. Haste. Whenever you attack with 3 or more creatures, investigate. 4/5.
Ain't too bad.
Yeah. The Lightning Helix is getting a reprint. Whoop whoop. It costs red white. Deals 3 damage. Gain 3 life.
Not much.
That's right. 2 mana. Instant. Exile target attacking creature.
Nice.
I don't know if you can actually read these cards very well.
Yeah, I can read them.
Oh, if you want to read a card, let me know then.
All right, sure. I'll read some of them.
All right.
We got the Deuce for 1 generic, 1 blue, instant. Draw a card, investigate. Not too bad.
No.
Benthic Criminologist for 5, 4 generic, 1 blue. Merfolk Wizard 4/5. Whenever Benthic Criminologist enters the battlefield or attacks, you may sacrifice an artifact. If you do, draw a card. Yeah, it's okay.
Interesting.
Burden of Proof for 1 and a blue. Enchantment Aura with Flash. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 as long as it's a detective. As long as it's a detective you control.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it has base power and toughness 1/1 and can't block detective.
Oh, interesting.
Nice. Let's talk about that for a minute. All right. So, enchanted creature, if it's a detective, you give it +2/+2. Or you cast it on your opponent's creature, turn it into a 1/1, and not block any of your detectives. Nice.
That's nice.
All right, next card, we got Hot Shot Investigators for, what a cost. 5 generic and 1 blue. When Hot Shot Investigators enters the battlefield, return up to 1 target creature to its owner's hand if you controlled it. Investigate. That is just too much cost for me.
Yeah. It's limited fodder.
And then we got Out's Code for 3 generic and a blue. This spell cannot be countered. Nice. Tap 2 target creatures and put a stun counter on each of them. Investigate.
That's pretty decent.
We got stun counters. We got all kinds of stun counters in standard right now.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. And now I'll let D. Lawson read these if he can. If not, you can.
Oh, I can't read them. The screen's messy.
Okay. All right. I want to read this Novice Inspector. 1 mana, 1/2. Novice Inspector enters the battlefield. Investigate. Woo! Novice Inspector.
Nice.
Yeah. Then we got Lead Pipe. Equipped creature gets +2/+0. Whenever a equipped creature dies, each opponent loses 1 life. You sacrifice Lead Pipe, draw a card. You equip for 2.
Mm. Yeah.
Oh, there's another version of Shock that you can use in your collection, Hillbilly.
Yeah. I don't think I need any shocks.
But this is
And-
different art.
Yeah,
and,
true.
and super fast, if you were to hit the thing up at the top and go by date, it puts up all the new cards they revealed today.
Right. Well, I haven't seen a lot of these cards, so that's why we're almost down.
Yeah.
Why don't you read this demand answers?
I demand answers. I demand answers. One generic, one red instant. Additional cost to cast this spell. Sacrifice an artifact or discard a card. Draw 2 cards. That ain't too bad. I mean, it's sometimes it don't hurt to discard a card.
Especially in Rakdos reanimator colors.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And, next we got Toperi Pether. Ooh, what it costs. 4, 5, 6. Cost total was 6. 4 generic and 2 green. Plant cat. Has trample. Has basic land cycling.
Mm-hmm.
Or 1 and a green. That ain't the land cycling. Since this has such high power, I believe it's a bad card. However, since it has that land cycling, which makes it better.
Yeah, I think this is a good reanimator target. Early game, it fetches you a land. Later game, you reanimate to be a 6/5 trampling creature.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Magnifying glass. Ooh. 3 generic. Taps for colors. You pay 4, tap, investigate. Ooh.
That ain't good. That ain't bad.
Yeah.
Pay 4 to get an investigate clue.
Yeah. There's some full art planes for the set.
Those are
Or for our lands. Those are neat. Those are nice looking.
Yep.
A special guest means cards not from the set, but not in the set, but you can pull from certain packs.
Mm-hmm.
Crashing Footfalls. Ravnica Clue. This is Clue Box Edition. Senator Peacock. Dining Room, Lead Pipe, Steam Vince. We've seen those before.
Yep.
And we've seen all these cards just in a regular showcase
I
cards.
don't like these cards.
They're not that amazing. It's kind of hard to tell what colors they are. I mean, up top it tells you what colors they are, but like it's pretty tough. Like that Wojak Investigator could be a color spell for all I know.
Right.
You know, it's white. Then you got not the Spyglass cards, which those ones look cool. The monocle look.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
I like the monocle look.
Yeah, that monocle looks pretty snazzy. Then you got the special edition Ravnica borders. We've seen this treatment before. But like that looks neat. It's a pretty good rendition, stained glass kind of look, Ravnica city around them. Yeah. And so the special thing about this card is it's called like this hidden ink card or something like that. Like under a certain light, you see a secret message.
Black light.
Yeah.
We're just going to start selling black lights now.
Yep. Illyria of the Law Above. There's going to be cards that are serialized, as you can see.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to have extended alternate arts. Boop, boop.
Nice.
That's all the spoilers.
Well, go back up and refresh.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, refresh here. No. All right, go back up at the very top. See where it says colors? Where it says sort by colors? Change that to date. No, change it to date. Yeah. There we go.
All right. Here's some new cards right here. All right. So all the cards you saw in the video. All right.
Yeah.
Let's get this. Let's get it.
All right.
Public
Okay.
Thoroughface.
Hmm.
Comes to play tapped. Enters the battlefield. Sacrifice unless you tapped an untapped artifact or land you control. Taps that one mana of any color.
Yeah. It's all right, but what if that's your only land?
Mm-hmm.
That's your only land. It's unplayable. You have to have an artifact
Right.
or extra land.
Crime Novelist. Whenever you would sacrifice an artifact, put +1 counter on Crime Novelist and add 1 red. Now, that'd probably be a powerful trinket for later, like some older decks.
Yeah, good grant. It's good grant.
Samala Sentry, green white, 1/3, reach. Whenever a face down permanent you control is turned face up, put +1 counter on it and a +1 counter on Samala Sentry. Interesting.
Ooh, nice.
It's gonna work with that weird morph mechanic. Galvanize is a reprint. Galvanize deals 3 damage to target creature. If you draw on 2 or more cards this turn, Galvanize does 5 damage to that creature instead.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. There's the morph token, the mysterious creature.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so has Ward 2. Nice.
Why don't I read the next card?
Expose the culprit. 1 and a red. Instant. Choose one or both. Not bad. Turn target face down, creature face up.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll take your little mysterious creature token and flip it. Next is exile any number of face up creatures you control with disguise and a face down pile. Shuffle that pile, then cloak them. Cloak. What is cloak? To cloak a card, put it onto the battlefield face down as a 2/2 creature with Ward 2. Turn it face up at any time for its mana cost if it's a creature card. Okay, makes sense.
All right. Ooh. Gadget Technician. 4 mana, 3/2. When Gadget Technician enters the battlefield or is turned face up, create a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying. In disguise 2, you may cast this card face down for 3 generic as a 2/2 creature with Ward 2. Then turn face up anytime for its disguise cost. All right.
Not bad. Blue or red.
Yep.
So you're paying 2 instead of 4. It costs
Right.
4, but you can play it for 2.
Right. But in the end, you're paying 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're paying 3 mana to get a 2/2 out with Ward 2 faster.
Yeah.
So, what about the next card?
Next card is Night Drinker Morali. For 3 generic and a black 4/2. Yeah, that's a small booty. It's a creature vampire with flying. Nice. And when Night Drinker Morali enters the battlefield, you lose 3 life. And it also has disguise for 2 black.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
No, it's not. It's not. All right. Auspicious Arrival. 2 mana instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Investigate.
Nice.
And why don't you read this next card?
Next, we got Deadly Complication. Rakdos for 1 generic, a black, and a red. Choose one or both. Destroy target creature. Put a +1/+1 counter on target suspected creature you control. You may have it become no longer suspected. Nice. You get rid of the suspected and you give it a +1/+1 counter. Not too bad.
Not too bad. Not too bad. All right. Yeah. Case of the Filched Falcon. So the way this works is the top portion of this is evergreen. And when it's out, it stays there. Whenever this case enters the battlefield, investigate. Right? Then you want to solve this, meaning in your game you want to do this interaction. You control 3 or more artifacts. So if you have 3 or more artifacts, you get to the solved part. The solved part says pay 2 generic and a blue, sacrifice this, put 4+1/+1 counters on target non-creature artifact. It becomes a 0/0 bird creature token with flying in addition to the other types. Interesting.
Nice. So actually, it's a 4/4.
Yeah. No, it's a 4/4 bird.
Nice. Next
What
up,
about-
we got Axebane Ferox. 2 green. 4/4. Not bad. Has Death Touch. That's good. And haste. And it has Ward. Collect evidence 4. Nice.
Mhm.
I like it.
Pretty neat. When this creature becomes the target of spell or ability and opponent controls, counter it unless a player exiles 4 cards mana value. I don't know. I wish the text for evidence 4 was on here because isn't that collect evidence one where you have to exile permanents with mana value 4 more from a graveyard?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds like it needs some text. All right, Branch of the Vidugazi. Tap to add a color. Disguise 3. You may have this come into the battlefield as a 2/2 creature with War 2. When Branch of the Gazi's turn faced up, add 2 mana of any one color to your mana pool this turn, and you don't lose that mana as steps and phases in. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
That's a solid land.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Next,
All right.
we have Teza. Putlet Olgaraj. For 1 generic, a white and a black. Legendary creature, human advisor. With Death Touch. Nice. As long as it's at the beginning of your end step, investigate. For each opponent who lost life this turn. Not bad. Whenever a clue you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, create a 1/1 white-black spirit creature token with flying. This ability only triggers once each turn. Not bad.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty decent. It focuses on clues, but yes. That's pretty good.
Yep.
Zoni, Center of the Web. 6 mana, 4 generic, 2 green, and black, 5/4 legendary creature. Elf, Detective, Menace. Whenever Zoni, Center of the Web enters the battlefield or attacks, you may collect evidence for it. If you do, create 2/1 black and green spider creature tokens with Menace and Reach. Sacrifice 4 tokens, surveil 2, then draw 2 cards, then gain 2 life.
Nice.
That's
5/4. Not too bad.
Yeah. This next card is a doozy.
Yeah, it is. War Leader's Call. 1 generic, a red, and a white. Enchantments. Creatures you control get +1/+1. That's good. Whenever a creature enters a battlefield under your control, War Leader's Call deals 1 damage to each opponent.
That's pretty
Oh,
solid.
that is very good.
Yeah, I want this for the dinosaur deck.
Any
So-
token deck will love that.
Yep.
Right, any token deck I want it, but I want it for my dinosaur deck. Yeah. Here we got Krinko, Baron of the Tin Street. 3 mana, 3/3 with haste. Tap, sacrifice an artifact, put a +1/+1 counter on each goblin you control. That's nuts.
Nice.
Whenever an artifact is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you may pay red. If you do, create a 1/1 red goblin creature token. It gains haste until end of turn.
Not too bad.
Pretty neat.
All right.
That's actually
Next
pretty
week.
good.
Yep. Next, we got another. These look kind of like, to me, sagas.
You're right.
Case of the Ransacked Lab. 2 and a blue. Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Not bad. Then next part is to solve. You've cast 4 or more instant or sorcery spells this turn. All right. You've cast 4 or more instant and sorcery spells this turn. If unsolved at the beginning of your end step. Okay, that don't make no sense.
So, in order to solve the case, you got to cast 4 instants and sorceries. And once you do, you can get to the solved part of the case.
Oh, so this kit stays around until you solve it.
Yeah.
Okay. Not that makes it different from sagas. When you do the last part of it solved, whenever you cast that instance or sorcery spell, draw a card.
Hmm.
Yeah, not
If
too bad.
unsolved. That's weird. It says if unsolved, solve at the beginning of your next end step. So at the end step, you get whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, draw a card. Interesting. That's weird.
Yeah, it is.
It's
Karlok's
swap combos.
Visionary, yeah, Karlok's Visionary Inventor, 5, 6, 7 mana, 4/4, menace, ward 2, haste. When Karlok's Visionary Inventor attacks, sacrifice any number of creatures, then exile the top X cards of your library, where X is their total power. You may cast any number of instant sorcery spells from among them, the exiled cards, without paying their mana cost. That's pretty neat.
It might be all right. I don't like the booty on it, but for the cost.
No, but it's pretty powerful. Like,
Yeah.
someone's gonna find some fun interactions with it.
Yeah.
All right.
Next, we got Trossati. 3 Whispers. Senelsian colors, green and whites. For green or
Hybrid green white.
hybrid green white and a white. For a total of 3, it's a 4/4 legendary creature Dryad.
Hmm.
And the abilities is pay 1 and a green. Target creature gains death touch until end of turn. Or you can pay the hybrid and target creature gains vigilance until end of turn. Or you pay the 2 and a white. Target creature gains double strike until end of turn. If you got the enough mana, when you get this out, you can get more than one ability.
Yep.
Makes this card good.
Oh yeah. So 6 mana will give this creature death touch, vigilance, and double strike.
Yep.
But it's target creature, so you can choose another creature to get those abilities.
Exactly.
It's pretty solid. Tells me or Midnight Light, the 2 generic, a green and 2 white, 3/2 legendary creature, Elf Scout, lifelink. When tells me Midnight's Light enters the battlefield, create a Vosa Finstalker, a legendary 5/5 green white wolf creature token with trample. Whenever a wolf you control attacks, if tells me or attack this turn, target creature an opponent controls blocks that wolf this combat if able. Wolf deck's
Nice.
gonna like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Next we got the Massacre Girl Known Killer. For 4. 2 generic and 2 black, 4/4. Not too bad. It has menace, and creatures you control have wither.
Ooh, Wither's coming back. Nice.
They
Deals
deal
damage in the form of -1/-1 counters. Sorry.
they deal damage to creatures in the form of 1/1 -1/-1 counter. Nice. Whenever a creature opponent controls dies, if its toughness was less than 1, draw a card. Kind of reminds me of that one card that's in standard right now that puts -1/-1 counters, and then when they die, you get a token.
Yeah, this could be a good mythic.
Yeah, that's a good card. I like it, Massacre Girl.
Ooh, all right. Argus, cost Spirit of Justice. Cost 2 generic, a red and white. Legendary creature Spirit Detective, double strike, vigilance. Whenever Argus costs Spirit of Justice enters the battlefield or attacks, choose one. Up to 1 target creature is suspected, or if it is suspected, exile it, otherwise suspect it. 2/4. No, that's a worky card.
Yeah. Well, I understand this card. It's pretty good actually because if you attack with it, you get to exile. You'll get to suspect a card.
Right.
Next turn you attack with it, you get to exile that card.
Right.
Next,
What's the next card?
Next we got Scene of the Crime. It's a land clue. So you can enter the battlefield tapped, tap it for a colorless. Or you tap it, tap an untapped creature you control, add 1 mana of any color. That's nice.
Uh-huh.
Or you could pay 2, sacrifice Scene of the Crime, and draw a card. That's pretty
not
good. No, that's pretty good. I mean, it's a ramp.
Yeah, it is. All right. We got a Deadly Fugitive, a generic, a blue and a black legendary creature, vampire assassin, 1/4, death touch. Face down creatures you control have pay 4. Turn this creature face up. If you can't, exile it. Then you may cast the exile card without paying its mana cost. Interesting. Whenever an assassin you control deals combat damage to an opponent, cloak the top card of your library. So
That player's library.
they're trying to bring more from Manifest back, basically.
Yeah.
All right.
But you cloak your opponent's card.
Right. No, face down creatures you control have it, not your opponents.
Whenever an assassin you control deals combat damage to an opponent, cloak the top card of that player's library.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Right.
next we have a Troyos Vindicator for 4. 2 generic, 2 white. It's an angel with 4/2. It's a 4/2. Has flying, lifelink, and ward 2. It also has that new mechanic called Disguise for X3 and a white. When a Troyos Vindicator is turned face up, exile up to X other target creatures from the battlefield and or creature cards from graveyards. So it's a board wipe. When Atraya's Vindicator leaves the battlefield, return the exile cards to their owner's hands.
Mm-hmm.
That's a board wipe till it dies.
Right.
Still not bad though, because you can open up the battlefield and attack.
Mm-hmm. The next card on the list, Kellen, Inquisitive Prodigy. Costs 2 generic, a green and a blue for a 3/4 creature, human fairy detective. He has flying vigilance. Whenever Kellen, Inquisitive Prodigy attacks, destroy up to 1 target artifact. If you control that permanent, draw a card. And he has Tell to Suspect at a sorcery adventure side. You investigate. You may play an additional land this turn. That's pretty decent.
That ain't too bad.
No.
Next up, we have the only Planeswalker that's in the sets. And it's real small. The print's real small, and I can't read that small print. Whoa. I went back to the same size. I'll let you read that, take that and tortoise. All right, here we go. All right, we got Kaya, Spirits of Justice for 2 black and a whites. It comes in with 3 loyalty. And whenever one or more creatures you control and or creatures in your opponent's graveyard are put into exile, you may choose a creature card from among them. Until the end of the turn, target token you control becomes a copy of it, except it has flying. Not bad. It keeps your opponent from exiling anything. And she has +2. So they'll 2, then exile a card from a graveyard. Kaya doing Kaya stuff.
From a graveyard, though. So that's pretty good.
A graveyard.
Yeah.
Then you her +1. Then she has a +1 ability. And they create a 1/1 white and black spirit creature token with flying. Not bad. So she protects herself.
Mm-hmm.
Or in her -2 ability, so you can go ahead and do all 3 of these. And as soon as she comes out, exile target creature you control. For each other player, exile up to 1 target creature that player controls. So everybody,
Nice.
so you can bring her out, do her -2, exile a creature from yourself, and exile opponent's creature.
Right. That's pretty good.
This would be good in your Planeswalker deck.
Yeah, it doesn't fit in the colors, though, because I don't run black.
Okay.
But the Seville, too, man. I'd run that.
Oh, yeah.
I'd run that just in cube or something. Judith Carnage Carnosaur. 3 generic, a red, black, 3/4 legendary creature, human shaman. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, choose 1. That spell gains death touch and lifelink. Or create a 2/2 red imp creature token with one of this creature dies, deals 2 damage to each opponent.
Ooh.
Pretty decent. We saw this one a little bit earlier, but it's the last one on the list.
Yep.
Here's some cards not in the set, but they're like special guests.
Yeah, but this is
God.
Yeah, this is Ravnica.
Yeah. Ravnica Master. Oh yeah, never mind. Boom, boom. There we go.
That last card. Oh my God, that's very good. They had that in standard before.
Oh yeah. Cope,
And
TCGdude.
I liked it when it was in standard, and it's going to be good. You see a lot of, I guarantee that card probably see a lot of play when
Right.
when it releases.
All right. Well, I got some important stuff to do. We've reached our time. Because I got wife is not feeling well, and I got to take care of her some bit. So I got to head out. No moving shakers today. No other normal stuff. Today's a different kind of day, special day. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with us. You guys are awesome. Be amazing.
Commander game today.
Yeah. James got here. I just got here in time for the end step. The end step. Oh,
That's all I got to say is Commander game today if anybody wants to play.
Commander game. Whoop, whoop, whoop. All right. Thank you to Lawson for being here.
Welcome.
Yep. And thank you, Hibbley.
Anytime.
Shockwave! What is your command, Megatron?
Subscribe for Magic the Gathering and other content for evil fun.
Fear not, Megatron.